How's it going, everybody? Isn't cardboard cool? Okay, no? Well, I'm trying to start a campaign to make people more interested in cardboard. And so, I decided to talk about cube boxes. It'll make everyone interested in cardboard again. Either that or it'll make everyone fall asleep. We'll see. Cube boxes are a thing that nobody cares about. I'm now officially changing my name to Nobody. Cube boxes may be in a very small part of the cubing community that basically no one cares about, but I still think they're very interesting, and I'm very interested in how they have evolved from pretty basic until what we see today, with so many different manufacturers having different designs with cool artwork and interesting quirks and very useful functionality. A good cube box can affect the cuber in ways they may not even realize. If a cube box is both elegant and functional, it can give a cuber an attitude of respect towards the cube before they even try it. It can make the cube seem premium, or not premium, depending. So, while many people seem to think they don't care about cube boxes, they might actually do in ways they don't realize. Whenever a new cube comes out, I'm always very interested to see the box and the artwork. It's just so interesting to me what design choices the companies choose to make and why they make them. Well, that's enough just rambling. Now let's actually look at some of the cube boxes over the years and how they've changed. First, I'd like to talk about the original Rubiks brand boxes because, those were the first cube boxes ever. When it comes to the original Rubiks brand boxes, there are two main types. One of them is sort of a box shape with its sort of curving in on the top and having an open top where the Rubik's Cube is displayed at an angle, and another one that's sort of just a cylindrical with the cube inside. The cylindrical one sometimes has it see-through, sometimes not. While these cube box designs undoubtedly have some flaws, I have to give Ideal credit. They did a pretty good job for their first few attempts, and it could have been a lot worse. But I think there are some pretty big problems with these designs that are the reason why they aren't really used anymore. For the first one, it's because of the functionality of it. While it looks nice, to get to the cube you have to basically destroy the box, which ruins any functionality it had. And for the cylindrical one, it's literally putting a round peg in a square hole. Wait, no, a square peg in a round hole. This leads to some awkwardness in terms of what it looks like, and if the thing is not really big enough, it could also lead to some functionality problems and having difficulties getting it out of the box when you put it back in. So as we've seen, the Rubik's brand boxes were definitely unique and interesting, but weren't the most practical and definitely weren't perfect because obviously they were the first cube boxes ever. Now let's jump ahead quite a bit to the early Speed Cube stage from 2011 to 2015. Now this was where cube boxes were more of a thing and were improved, but weren't necessarily super interesting or unique. The pre-2016 Speed Cube box designs were undoubtedly pretty functional and didn't have very many major flaws, but man, they were just so boring. They all had the very similar basic design of having like a flap at the top and being made of the same sort of material. And really the only difference between different cube boxes of this era was there was like a little thing at the top that some of them had and some of them didn't. But man, these boxes, they just had no personality. They were all the same. And yes, they were pretty functional, although it was a bit of a tight squeeze for a lot of cubes. But they're just so boring. 2016 was a very revolutionary year for cubing in many ways. One of the main things that happened was magnets became a thing, but importantly for this video, cube boxes became more interesting. The Volk 3 and the GTS-1 and the GAN 356 Air all had some different cube box designs than what had been done before. After this, companies just went crazy with all sorts of different cube boxes with different designs, different functions, different looks, all of that. The evolution of cube boxes was certainly not a coordinated effort. The companies went in crazily different directions, all designing different cube boxes that look completely different from the other manufacturers. Well, you had these cool magnetic flaps, and they had different color schemes to indicate non-magnetic and magnetic.
G and X-Band, they had this sliding out box. YJ had a sliding piece and then an opening piece. And GAN basically made all their boxes look like the exact same cube. But even through the chaos of the different cube box designs that were out there, there's one overarching design that seemed to be used a lot more than the others. And I like to call it the box. Now this might seem like a no-duh type of box design, but really it wasn't actually used that much until the cube box revolution, which is surprising to me. But anyways, even though it's very simple, it still allows for a lot of space for the cube, and it allows for some nice art choices. This simple box design also allowed companies to be more creative with their art on the boxes. You started to see more boxes that had drawings of the cube, like this, or drawings of the internals of the cube, or a straight up picture of the cube, or in YJ's case, shapes. Also, real quick, can we talk about these boxes? The MGC Big Cube boxes are probably some of the best cube boxes ever. They combine the simple box design that I was talking about earlier, but they add a little sleeve so that the box doesn't accidentally open. And the colors and the shapes and the things that are on them are just so good. It's like modern, but it's good. Also, triangles. Just triangles.
To get an MGC 6x6, I demand that all math textbooks be updated with this information.
But yeah, these boxes are straight up awesome.
As you can see, cube box art and design is a lot more interesting and deep than you might have thought. But we haven't even talked about the functionality of these things yet.
I might be the only person who's actually interested in the art and looks of cube boxes, but I think every cuber can agree that cube boxes, at least modern ones, are very functional and have lots of uses. Cube boxes could be used to store cube accessories or things that came with the cube, or things that came with a completely different cube that you aren't using. They can also be used for storing the cube itself. Modern cube boxes often have some sort of cube stand or something to put the cube in when you're not using it, such as this. I even store the remains of my Moyu Aohun Megaminx in its original box.
I mean, did you really think I wasn't gonna put it back in the original box? What do you think I am, a criminal? But anyways, a cube box's functionality is something that can be very good and helpful for cubers. And it's not something that just some people are interested in, like the design and art of the cube boxes. So that's pretty much cube boxes. As you have seen, they're a lot more interesting than you might have thought. And while I'm probably too obsessed with them, they still have a lot of uses and are very interesting. As much as I like cube boxes, I've decided to suspend my campaign to make people like cardboard and cube boxes better, because I've realized that if I get too obsessed with cube boxes, then when I get new cubes, then it'll take forever for me to open them, and I'll waste so much time just looking at the cube box and not opening the cube. Real quick, can we talk about some of these YJ cube boxes? They have these bright, vibrant, shiny colors, and this exploding part on the front. Now notice I didn't say when I was going to suspend my organization.